In progress.
Yeah, so they need a better
Thanks.
thing.
That was just water. It's sprayed. Hey, everyone.
Okay, let me get situated here with the chat.
I had the greatest conversation with Donna just now for 90 seconds. And Donna, that was funny. I don't care who you are. I mean, that's just a funny joke. 10 years from now, we'll tell everybody. So, yeah, you building this business. You have 100 conversations like a day, it seems like. And in between, there's kind of fun moments. So, anyway. Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. So today we're going to get into the compensation plan as we do on Thursdays, but we'll also spend some time doing some back office, displaying that and then going through some training on a few things, answering questions. So reminder, when you participate in the webinar, if you would like to remain anonymous, that's totally fine. If you participate in the chat and you send a message to everyone, it will display your name, which is perfectly fine if you'd like to do that. Just wanting you to be aware of that. And if you have questions, it's best to put those questions within the Q&A. There's like a little Q&A section of Zoom, and that is a lot easier for us to identify the questions coming through that process than in the chat, because the chat's just flowing as everybody's talking. So it's a little bit harder for us to keep track of questions in there. So questions, please post in the Q&A section. Let's give everybody just a minute here, and then we will jump into things.
I can't believe how fast things are moving right now. It feels like I've described parts of my life, like it feels like this dates me to an analog era. I feel like a VCR that's jammed on like the fast forward. You know, you could like, you remember VCRs?
I do.
Okay, good.
VCRs and tapes.
Okay, good. I don't know. I could date myself sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, really last we went to it's like DVD. Yeah, it's just like sometimes everything seems to be moving in fast motion. Tom's up there. I was like, give a hug.
That's great, though. Lots of fun things happening. And we'll also talk a little bit about the exciting thing this week. We're always doing new things every week. There's big milestones happening these last several weeks, right? So it's pre-orders in US, and then pre-orders in some of the initial international locations, and then shipping product. And now this week is our first commission run. So that's happening. Exciting. So I am going to open up the comp plan presentation and then start sharing screen, and we'll go through that, and then we'll start digging into questions and details and fun views of the back office. Okay. So
I will say this while Curtis is doing this. I'll quote Ray. I do that a lot. Ray once I was explaining a portion of, he was explaining dynamic compression and saying, this is a lot more fun to experience than it is to explain. And I'll tell you, compensation plans in general are a lot more fun to experience if it's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, we've all been part of the bad ones where you're like, man, all that work to explain that, and now I check $3. Yeah, like we've been part of those, many of us, and that's no fun. But there is a conversation that happened earlier this week, and it was somebody said, if only my check will be this, I'd just be happy, because reasonable expectations of, we launched in just before Thanksgiving, and but yeah, I was so glad to see the pre-calc, and I was like, right on. I think you know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
okay, can everybody see this lovely pool of olive oil right here? My screen sharing okay? Give me a thumbs up. We're good? Awesome. Okay. Oh, I gotta find, where'd my other part go? Hold on a second here. Wow, my screen just went weird on this side. Sorry, hold on a second here. I apologize. What's going on?
The robots at a certain point are just going to take all care of all this, and we'll never have to apologize. But at the moment, this is like everybody, not just us. I notice the world of webinars are very much this way.
It'll get to the point one day where you'll just be able to say, pull up the compensation plan presentation, go to such and such page.
Yeah.
Yeah, this did something totally weird where I'm stuck in a certain screen.
You have the ability, you have the ability to
I'm
come
sorry, I'm going to stop sharing for a sec. I apologize, everybody.
Oh, while you're doing
I'm
that.
going to do a song and dance here for a
Well, yeah, no, while you're doing that, it gives me a chance to riff a little bit for, what is really kind of fun right now? When I say fun and exciting, exhilarating, I'm losing weight probably because of the product, but more also because of there's a lot going on. But when you see the thing, this idea that we have, this compensation plan that we've laid out, functioning the way it's supposed to, being calculated the way it's supposed to, first of all, it's a lot of relief. We got a lot going on right now. It was thrilling. And also you want to make sure that this pioneering group that we're all working together here, this period of time that we're working on, come January, when we're working out all the squeaky spots, making sure things are done correctly and making sure that we're not charging people tax on olive oil in places of the world that aren't taxing olive oil. That was a new one for me, being Canadian. Yeah, we get this all figured out because come January, folks, we're going to go from linear growth to exponential. And I think you all know what that means. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Appreciate any sort of growth. And linear growth is beautiful. Exponential, you want to make sure you got your I's dotted and your T's crossed. So.
And Gordon talked about commissions run. So we've been working on that commissions run this week. For everybody, just to know ahead of time, most of the orders are going to be paid through the sprint because they would be initial orders. If somebody did go in and place a second order, that's going to be paid through the unilevel, and you're going to see that on the monthly check that'll be generated next week. So just know that if somebody did place 2 orders on their account, so maybe they waited a few days, decided they wanted to go back in and add an item and place that second order is going to pay through the baseline, through the unilevel structure, and that'll be paid. We'll start generating those calculations next week.
Will that be noted too when people look in? They're going to be able to see that? Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then on that note, also, the way that the commissions will be paid out is through our third-party provider, Pay Quicker, is the wallet provider that we'll be using. So those of you who have earned commissions to this point, you will be receiving an invite this week to set up your Pay Quicker account. And that's where the payments will go into. And then from that Pay Quicker account, you can decide how you want to handle that payment. You can push it to your bank. You can leave it there. At some point in the future, we'll have it set up so that you can use those funds to purchase product or do other things that way as well. So that's how that will work. So keep an eye on your emails for an invite to Pay Quicker. If you haven't generated commissions yet, you won't get an invite yet. So it's when you generate your first commission check that you would get that invite to Pay Quicker. So keep an eye out for those emails. If in the next 48 hours you do not receive an invite to Pay Quicker, and you think that you should have, based upon your expectation of earning a commission in this run, please reach out, support@oliabo.com, so that we can make sure to get you taken care of.
While we're on the Pay Quicker subject, just to add one more thing there. So with Pay Quicker, you're going to have the ability to do multiple things with your funds. So once your funds are deposited into your Pay Quicker account, you can either move those to a virtual credit card that can be used for online spending. You can get a physical card. If you're in one of the markets that they'll send a physical card to, they do have a very small fee to do that. And that's just to cover the postage to get the card to you. But then third option is that you can transfer it to a bank account. We're still finalizing things in our international markets for the transfer to the bank account. We're still looking at maybe 2 to 3 weeks in order for those to be set up to where you can actually transfer. But just know that that is coming. So
I mean, 2 to 3 weeks for us to establish those things. It won't take that long for the money to transfer.
No. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be an ability for you to be able to go transfer it to a bank account for probably about another 2 to 3 weeks. And that's just part of the international banking and setup. There's a little bit more of a waiting period and process with international banking. So here in the US with our domestic, you'll have that option right away to be able to transfer those funds to your bank account.
Good point. So the other thing is that you probably noticed, those of you who've been around for a few weeks here, that the back office, we keep updating things and there's new changes happening. The wallet page that is currently there will be updated soon. I'm not sure if it'll be this week or early next week, but it will have a link to Pay Quicker and some other information that will start to be displaying in there soon with the soon to be update that's coming. So all of that's good. All of that's coming, just continually evolving and growing. That's part of the fun part of being involved so early. You get to see the process, right? You see the process of how these things roll out. You get to understand it more. But please let us know if you've got questions or concerns or any issues you're running into. And always know that we're going to take care of you. We're going to make it right. We're going to make it work. But let us know if you got questions or needs there. Okay, let's jump into it. And Adam, if you're seeing any questions come in that would be good to address related to the content that we're hitting in the moment,
I'll interrupt
chime in.
and just say, hey.
And otherwise, we can save those for afterwards. So right now, let's just jump into the presentation. We'll spend about 15 to 20 minutes on this, and then we'll jump into questions, back office demonstrations, and some things that way. So here we go. So Premio Pay. Premio Pay is Oliavo's compensation plan. And we make it easy for anyone to get started with Oliavo. We have no enrollment fees and no purchase requirements to qualify for level 1 commissions. So we keep it simple, we keep it easy, we keep aligned with you so that we can all be successful together. Even those who are new to network marketing can jump right in, start referring others, earning commissions, and ranking up to generate bigger checks month over month, year over year. That's why we call it the power of simplicity. So, Premio Pay is built upon the following core principles. These are our foundation. These are the pillars of Premio Pay. First, we keep it simple. It's important that everyone understand the compensation plan and have a clear, simple path for maximizing the opportunity. Second, no word games. Other compensation plans describe their payouts using terms like up to or as much as. They use those kinds of word games to hide the fact that their actual payouts are much lower. Third, transparency. Premio Pay clearly shows you how commissions are earned and distributed. Fourth, reliable stability. We understand that the income that you build with Oliavo may become an important part of providing for you and your family, and we take that seriously. So we've worked hard to create a compensation plan that we can stand behind. A plan that will remain stable and consistent in the months and years to come so that you can rely on building upon that plan. So whether you're here to casually refer products or grow a large team, Premio Pay makes it easy to get started, easy to share, and easy to scale. Here's some of the unique features of our compensation plan. We provide weekly, monthly, and quarterly commission opportunities. We pay out 50% of every CV unit. We use dynamic compression to make sure that each level within the compensation plan gets paid out. In a compensation plan that doesn't use dynamic compression, and many don't, if a brand rep in the upline structure isn't qualified for a certain payout level, then breakage occurs, and that payout level goes back to the company. We don't like that. So with dynamic compression, the system searches upline to find the next qualified brand rep for that payout level, eliminating breakage. Again, we want to make sure that the corporate side is aligned with the brand rep side so that we're all working together and succeeding together. Next, we have easy price points to make it simpler for you to track your commissions and to make sure that our incredible products can remain affordable so that as many people as possible can benefit from them. Next, we have minimal CV splits. CV split, that's the difference between the product price and the commission volume being paid out. Across the network marketing space, we've seen huge CV splits becoming the norm, and that's just not okay. Premio Pay maintains global bonus pools, wherein a percentage of all orders is contributed and then distributed among qualified leaders. And our minimal structure requirements make it easier than ever for you to qualify and rank up and grow your business with Oliavo. We're not going to get into this terminology, but it's here so that you can refer back to it in some of our recordings that we have online. This just shows you some of the terminology that we'll use throughout the presentation. And if you've got any questions or you'd like a link to our video presentations that break this down, let us know. Reach out to support at Oliavo and we can get into that.
I was going to say, Chris, on this thing, I had an interesting conversation this week. I've had this many times, but this one was this gentleman was asking a lot of questions about the comp plan.
Mhm.
And his thing was, we have to figure out the code to crack, like anybody coming new to a comp plan has to figure out the code to crack. And I said, this is a nice thing. There is really no code to crack. I understand why he's saying that.
Yeah.
Breakage is, you have to find the ways so you can avoid breakage in a comp plan. There isn't one. It keeps honest
Nothing to do
people
with that
honest.
here.
Sunlight's the best disinfectant, guys. When we pay in, we have no breakage in that dynamic compression commitment. And that's something that you'll find a lot of wordsmithing about. So when you're one of these people think, how do I crack the code? It's really not the code. There's not a code to crack. These things that we're showing are the terminology that we use when we program it. That's just something in your ongoing efforts. If somebody says that to you, like, how do you crack the code? This is a refreshing thing. There isn't really a code to crack.
Yeah, there isn't really a code. I mean, there's definitely some different ways that you want to be careful in how you use placement and other things like that. But there's no complexities that there's no hidden.
The dark secret of the comp plan,
Yeah, that's a really important point to know, because especially for those that have been involved in the network marketing space for a while now, that in a lot of comp plans and with a lot of companies, you do have to try to navigate that those secret kind of hidden pathways to figure things out, but not here. So the simplicity of me plus 3, again, we keep it simple. We've all got at least 3 people in our energy orbit who'd either be interested in building a business through the Oliabo opportunity, or who would love to benefit from the incredible products that we're bringing to market. And it only takes 3 people to establish a solid foundation and start building your Oliabo business. So let's talk about sprints. Sprints are Premio Pay's initial commission opportunity. Commissions on all initial or first orders are paid weekly through this sprint structure. When you enroll someone, their first order, you get paid that sprint level 1 payout of 25%. And a reminder, there's no purchase requirements or rank qualifications for you to earn this level 1 payout. Sprint level 2 pays 10% to qualified upline sponsors, allowing them to double down and earn a second level sprint bonus on the initial purchases of individuals enrolled by team members they've personally sponsored. And if an upline sponsor doesn't meet the sprint level 2 qualification requirement, then that payout dynamically compresses up to the next qualified upline sponsor. The column on the right shows how an initial order with 100 CV would be distributed through each sprint level and then paid out through our 3 bonus pools. So you can see how the total 50% CV payout gets paid out in this example. Initial Primo order of 100 CV, if that was your direct customer or business builder that you'd enrolled that had made that purchase, you get $25. The sprint level 2 upline, if they were qualified with a 200 QV personal monthly commitment, they would get that $10 double down. And then $5, 5% would go to the incentive pool, $5 would go to the global bonus pool, and $5 would go to the elite bonus pool. We'll talk a little bit more about those pools later. So the baseline, this is our monthly commission opportunity. After all initial orders, all reorders pay through this baseline structure. This is your path to monthly residual income. Here's where team building and consistent customer reorders really starts to add up. The top of the chart, as you see here, it shows the Premio Pay ranks. As you move to the right, moving up in rank, you unlock deeper payout levels. Every rank adds more earning potential from your organization's activity up to 8 levels deep. Each rank has monthly qualifications that must be met in order to achieve that rank and unlock the associated payout levels. There's 4 types of rank qualification requirements, and they're all essentially independent of each other, but they work together for your rank qualifications. So first is that personal volume requirement. So that's your monthly personal volume requirement. You notice there, as a rep, there is no volume requirement. Again, for first level commission payments, there's no enrollment fee and there's no purchase requirements for that level 1. But that's the first requirement as far as ranking up. The second requirement, personal enrollments. These are people that you have personally sponsored or enrolled with Oliabo, and they can be placed anywhere within your first 3 levels. they don't just have to be placed front line. Personal enrollments can be customers, brand reps, affiliates, wellness professionals, it all counts. But it's personal enrollments that have an active order in the given month for the rank qualification that you're aiming for. Third, team structure. So you've got to maintain at least 3 distinct teams, branches, each meeting rank-specific group qualifying volume. GQV means group qualifying volume. You see that here on the slide. So that means teams, some people call them legs, right? So it's the people placed frontline to you that then have an organization and group building below them. So you need at least 3 teams in each of these scenarios that we're showing here in order to have your different team qualifications. Team leads, so that's the person that's placed on your first level, your front line. Team leads, they can be your personal enrollment, or they can be placed by an upline enrollment. So they don't have to be your personal enrollment. They can be placed from an upline. And then the fourth qualifier is that group qualifying volume. So your organization's total combined volume must reach the minimum threshold for the target rank that you're aiming towards. And this includes your personal QV, QV from customers, and from business builders, and all the QV within your organization. So those are the 4 rank qualifications. And people are always asking, okay, so what's the secret? How do I go from the rep rank to a Premio? Like, how do I do it? Well, really, there is no secret. It's just step by step, right? Stay focused on the actions that you need to take in order to go from one rank to the next, because moving from one rank to the next naturally prepares you. It builds the skills, the confidence, the mindset needed for continued growth and ranking up from one to the next. It's also important to connect with and learn from top leaders. We are blessed to have a ton of leaders within Obliabo already that have been doing this for decades successfully and are happy to share their experience and help you succeed. So that's the secret, right? Just one step at a time, learning from leaders, building relationships, participating in the community, and you'll get there. Okay, so levels. The levels represent the placement position of the people within your organization, right? So we use the term frontline to mean your level 1, right? Those are people that are positioned right directly to you. So somebody that you've enrolled directly and placed within your front line.
Or it can be from your upline.
That's true.
Placing somebody.
That's true. It can be somebody that's been placed by your upline. Doesn't have to be just your enrollments. Level 2 are people directly connected to your level 1s. Level 3 are people connected to your level 2s, and so on. So let's look at an example of what it would take to achieve the Kappa rank. So Kappa rank is that 3rd rank there, that light blue, right? So Kappa or 1K. So let's look at an example of what it would take to qualify. So we're going to go through the 4 qualifications, and we're going to use this example. So remember, 4 types of rank qualifications: personal volume, personal enrollments, team structure, and your organization's total qualifying volume. So let's say the brand rep here, Tina. So does Tina have, in a given month, does she have her personal QV requirement of 100 personal QV? That's like 1 Prima, right? So, yep, Tina's got that. Check. Okay, second requirement. Does Tina have 3 personal enrollments that each have 100 QV in qualifying volume for that month? Yep. She's got Susie, she's got Lewis, and she's got John, each with 1 Primo order or other products that have that 100 QV in volume. Next, the team requirements. So does Tina have 3 teams? That's 3 people, 3 team leaders that are starting to build beneath her. And she does. But the way she's done this is interesting. So she's got Susie, one of her enrollments, placed frontline to her, there on the left. She's got Lewis, one of her enrollments, placed frontline, right there in the middle. But this new person over here, Joanna. Joanna is an upline sponsored placement on Tina's front line, and that counts as one of her team qualifiers. And each of these teams, each of these 3 teams, has at least 100 QV in the team. And then you can see how she's placed John underneath Susie. In this example, Susie and John, they know each other. Tina wants to help Susie build. She knows that Susie and John will work well together in building Susie's team and building John, so she's placed that there. And just like Tina, has that upline placement, Joanna, who's qualifying as one of her teams. Now, Susie, even though John is not her personal enrollment, John will start to qualify as one of her teams. So that requirement 3, check. So now the last check is, does Tina's overall volume in her overall organization equal 1,000 or above? It does. If you look at all those, her personal QV 100, 100 from Susie, 100 from Lewis, 100 from John. And then in the different teams, you can see each of those teams. Susie's team has 500, 250 with Lewis, 150 there with Joanna. So all of those combined with her personal QV, 1,000 plus. So boom, she's met all 4 requirements, and Tina has now leveled up to the Kappa rank for this month. And so with that, Tina then opens up her 3rd level and the associated benefits of that, which now we're going to get into. So we've learned how you rank advanced and unlock levels. We've seen an example of that with the Kappa. Now let's look what happens when you unlock those levels and what the payouts are on those levels. So now let's dig into those 8 baseline levels and show you, we're going to go into how Premio Pay rewards both team building and customer-focused sales. The baseline payout provides 2 parallel commission streams, depending on whether a reorder, remember baseline is all about reorders, whether reorder comes from a builder or a customer. So what's a builder? A builder refers to someone who is building an income with Oliavo. So this includes brand reps, affiliate influencers, wellness professionals. And a reorder from a builder generates commissions from 5% to 10% per level through the 8 levels. This rewards leadership and team building with bigger commission percentages through deeper pay levels. So you can see level 1, 5%, level 2, 5%, level 3, 10%, level 4, and the rest, 5% each. So a lot of people ask, why 10% on that level 3? Gordon, why 10% on level 3?
Most people, Curtis, I'm glad you asked. By the way, you're killing it right now, brother. He knows Curtis will stick his head in a couple marketing things a week. We try to be omnipresent. And I'm watching this because right now I'm finalizing the comp plan training video, which is dynamics, jamming all of what Curtis is doing in exploded version in 5 minutes. So this is beautiful. And you're a great question. 10% on level 3. We had this question from this group that's looking at us right now, right? Why level 3? Statistically speaking, it was based on a stat DSA used to publish that most people in their realm of influence have the ability to build within 3 levels, right? And we really want people, that's where the math starts to take over, where you get that beautiful kind of exponential growth. There's a sweet spot at level 3 there, where your group, you leverage your efforts, and if they're doing what you're doing, by level 3, there's a nice wide group of sales right there. Most people think it's like, they say, well, it's like a triangle. It's actually, when you build one of these things, it looks eventually more like a diamond that's like a little bit, the waist is a little bit lower. I don't know, like John Elway, that's the way they come, like pear-shaped, right? It's a little more pear-shaped, but it's an old reference. You probably don't know who he is. He was a quarterback in the National Football League a long time ago. So anyway, the level 3, Curtis is dead right. There's reasons for that. Again, one of these things, like Ray says, it's a lot more fun to experience than to try to explain why we're doing it. But there you go, Curtis. You're doing very well, by the way, brother. Like, it's been 2 weeks since I've sat in on the training, so.
Oh, that's
Can
great.
I say one thing?
Yeah.
This is an amazing thing to watch because, folks, I'm so glad that people are figuring out. I said in quick order, if we do this right, there'll be people in this building that are going to be much better experts at this comp plan than me. And you got a couple guys here. You remember the thing that we did in 2002? Yeah. We would have a sheet that had the comp plan, and then you could call, if we did a presentation over a call with no visuals, you could call customer service, which was a toll call. Order entry was free, toll call. My sister worked in that she would jump over the wall. She would say, Daniela, and data entry. And then she would like take her headset off and run over. The phone was running over here. And she's like, this is Janet in customer service. And it cost money to figure this all out. Right now, these 2 dudes are training the robot. So in real time, you're getting answers and whatever.
It's so interesting because we talk about duplication a lot in building your organization on the field side, but the reality is that on the corporate side, that same concept is happening, right? We come up with what's going on and then we duplicate it. Like Gordon came up with the comp plan, and then I'm now duplicating and we're expanding, and it's the same thing, right? Just in a different function, in a different way. So it's fun to see that start to happen on both sides, right? The field side, the corporate side, and how it all comes together and works together.
I told Curtis the other humbling experience is going to happen in the future. You're going to end up with somebody who's way better at presenting some of this stuff than any of us in the office, right?
I believe it. I've already seen. Getting to know some of the field leaders and what some of you are doing and talking to you and the concepts that you have and the way you're doing it, it's already blowing my mind. So yeah. I totally believe that. I'm already seeing it. Okay, so builders, right? So this is how the builders are paid out, right? Anybody generating a check or building an income with Oliabo, this is how their reorders will pay out. Like, for example, if I enroll Adam and I've enrolled him as a builder, and the way that happens is that in your back office, you've got essentially two links, right? One is to send to builders, one is to send to customers. And that differentiates kind of what they're doing. Customers don't have the ability to build, but builders do. And so any reorder that Adam makes, I will get the associated payout level. So for me, if he's on my level 1, if I place him on my level 1, any of his reorders, I will get 5% on. If I place them on my level 3, I'll get 10%, but then I get fewer levels of what he generates, because after 8 levels, I get 8 levels, but if I place him on my level 3, sure, I get 10% from his reorders, but if he's going to build a monster business, I want to keep him up closer because I want those levels and what's going to happen to be closer to me. Okay, so a customer. So customer refers to someone that orders Oliabo products for personal use and not focused on building a business or earning a commission. This could also be somebody that may be a builder, but maybe just wants to kind of get in, try the product, explore a little bit, and just start out as a customer. The other thing is that customers can then convert into a builder, right? Whether that's somebody you know that might be a builder later, and so you just get them in as a customer at first to try things out, or it could just be a customer that you never knew they would be a builder, but they've come in as a customer, and they can convert into a builder later because they've learned about the product, they realize there's opportunity there, so they can always convert into a builder. The way that happens is that in the customer's back office view, it's slightly different, right? It looks more, it's just simpler view. They have kind of their orders they can see, they have the products they can see, and there's also a button that says, become a brand rep. When they click on that, it says, hey, being a brand rep gives you these benefits. You can earn commissions by sharing product, and they can then convert into a brand rep. So customers will become a great opportunity there as far as building into brand reps and building your business too. But this is how customer reorders pay out through the Premio Pay plan. A customer reorder generates a higher level 1 payout of 25%, as you can see. The reason we've done that is because we want to reward customer-focused sales. Because customer-focused sales drive additional volume, they boost QV and increase contributions to the bonus pools that benefit everybody in the Premio Pay plan. So we want to make sure that we're incentivizing that. Levels 2 through 8 pay 2.5% to 5% per level. So again, that same level 3, just like on the builder's side, the builder side has that level 3 at 10%. Builders, or the customer side here, has 5%. So it's that bump at level 3. So that drives people to level 3 and then creates continued explosion from level 3 and beyond to keep the momentum going. So no matter who reorders, a builder, an affiliate, a customer, a wellness professional, Oliabo always pays out 50% of the commissionable volume, 45% through the 8 baseline levels, and 5% to the global bonus pool. This structure that we put together combines network marketing and affiliate marketing into one powerful unified plan, making it easy for team builders, influencers, and casual product sharers to succeed together in a unified plan that benefits everyone. I would be interested to hear and to know. And I would actually, I would throw down the gauntlet to anyone who can show me a plan that is unified those worlds in such an effective, unified way as this. I don't know that it's ever been done.
I don't think so either.
I think people have been talking about it for a long time, but I don't think people have ever done it effectively.
Yeah, old established companies try to Frankenstein on an affiliate program, and it's always awkward. And then affiliate companies that start to try to behave like network marketing companies because they want, I don't know, they want the training to go viral or they want to have incentive trips. They end up looking herky-jerky, and networkers like, oh my gosh, this thing is driving me bananas. It's the eye rolling is staggering. So out of the gates, like the degree of difficulty that what we're doing is pretty up there. You have to have a fairly good understanding of both. To fuse them together, as we continue to move forward, you'll find that this is going to become language that will just roll off your tongue. The math that we're doing right here, these efforts are going to pay off in spades going forward.
And the great thing is that you don't have to try to wrap your head around all of this at once, right? Just know that it's actually simple. Do what you've always done. You don't have to. If you've been doing network marketing for decades and you've got your way that you've always done things, you don't have to change. Just keep doing what works for you. But if you're also either want to explore more of the online social media stuff, influencer stuff, or if that's who you are or who you're recruiting, by all means, this will work great for that too. So do what you do, learn new things if you want to, but it fits all sides, right? And we're always here to dig in deeper, to talk through things, to help you understand. So always reach out when you've got questions. We'll continue to put out more material and more dynamic information as we identify the pain points or misunderstandings. But this plan is unified in a totally unique way, and we're so excited about what's going to happen. So let's keep going here. Here's some examples. So let's walk through a baseline reorder payout example and see how it comes together in either of the paths, either a reorder from a builder or a reorder from a customer. So if you look at the bottom here, let's say that someone reorders Prima, which has a value of 100 CV. Since Premio Pay distributes 50% of the CV, that means $50 will be paid out in this example. 45% or $45 through the 8 levels of the baseline, 5% or $5 contribute to the global bonus pool. The green column shows how this reorder would pay out if made by a builder, someone who's building a check, making money, earning a check with Oliabo. Their reorders would pay out through this green line. The initial upline rep rank or above connected to that builder's reorder would receive the level 1 payout of 5% or $5. The system then looks upline for the first qualified Brava rep, because Brava rep, they get that level 2 payout. And so the system's only going to pay that out to a Brava rep. They'll get the level 2 payout, 5% or $5. Then it looks upline for a level 3 payout, which would be a qualified Kappa rank or above for that 10% or $10 payout. And then it continues to look upline to pay out the remaining levels to qualified Quintos and Ventis, and finally a Premio, paying 5% or $5 at each of those levels. So now let's look at this blue column here. The blue column shows how that same Prima reorder would pay out if it was made by a customer. The level 1 payout for reorders from customers on your front line, whether enrolled by you or placed by an upline sponsor, is going to pay 25% or $25. Because again, we want to reward people for that direct customer relationship. Now, I don't know if you, just to put a little finer point on one of those things that I just said, it's not just your personally enrolled customers. If for some reason an upline sponsor had enrolled a customer and places them on your front line, you then will be the one that gets that 25% or $25 payout for that customer's reorders. So your direct enrolled customers and placed customers on your front line will pay out that 25% or $25. The system then looks upline for a qualified Brava rep for the level 2 payout, 2.5% or $2.50 in this example. Level 3, 5% or $5 is going to go to the first qualified Kappa rank, and then it continues to look upline to pay the other levels of 2.5 or $2.50 to the Quintos, Ventis, and finally a Premio at those different qualified levels. So both examples, they pay out 50% of the CV, 45% of the baseline, 5% to the global bonus pool. It's just distributed differently according to whether it's a builder's reorder or a customer's reorder. And a reminder, if someone isn't qualified, if a brand rep isn't qualified at a rank that otherwise would be entitled to a specific commission level, dynamic compression is going to search upline and pay out that level to the next qualified position. So you want to be sure that you're meeting your highest potential monthly rank qualifications so that you can maximize your commission levels and not miss out on a payout level because you didn't qualify. Horizontal compression. What is horizontal compression? Something new. So horizontal compression automatically helps you qualify for higher ranks by intelligently grouping your smaller teams and level 1 customers into a single combined team to help achieve your highest possible rank qualification. Let me explain a little bit more step by step. So first, what happens when we're doing our rank qualifications and calculations at the end of each month or quarter, depending on if it's a global bonus calculation, the system will look at your total group qualifying volume in your organization. So in this example, it would look at this brand rep and say, okay, what's this brand rep's total qualifying volume? Okay, this brand rep has a total qualifying volume of, I forget what the calculation is here, it's like 60,000 or 65,000. And then it says, okay, based upon their total volume, they could potentially qualify as a Premio because a Premio needs 50K or above in total group volume. So long as then this rep has the other qualifiers. So what horizontal compression does is it ranks your level 1 teams and customers by their total volume. So in this example, the top team for this brand rep has a total volume of 25,000. Their second highest team volume is 6,500. So the system then says, okay, we're going to lock those two in as their top teams. And then the system automatically says, let's group the volume from all these other teams and their customers into one combined team. It doesn't actually change placement or anything. It just does it for the calculation. And so in this example, the combined teams and customer volume is 20,000. And so because of that, that then becomes another qualifying leg, which would then take this brand rep from a natural venti into a horizontally compressed Premio rank automatically. So it optimizes your rank and allows you to not have to worry about building too wide, right? Build wide. The wider you build in this kind of a structure, as long as you can build wide and deep, you're going to make a lot more money by doing that. And horizontal compression makes it so that none of that width is wasted in the rank calculations. It's all contributing to your rank qualifications.
It's really pretty efficient. Like there's no wasted volume is the best way to put that.
Yeah, there's no wasted volume.
Folks, I gotta tell you
this
something.
makes it easier and easier for you to qualify.
In years past, it takes a company usually a year to get to the point where you have a breakout session at a convention that gets into this granular detail of how it's done. And I understand for some of you folks, all you need to know is just, hey, just find 3 people like me that are excited, right? That's all you gotta.
That's a good point.
But there's a lot of folks nowadays that can do math, and people have these dangerous devices where they can calculate. You want to make sure. This is the way to keep honest people honest, folks. You can see how the computer actually generates a commission check. It's pretty brilliant.
But I think you make a really good point, Gord. For those of you, some of you on here have been doing these things for a while, and you understand a lot of what we're talking about, and this is like the meat, and we're digging in. Some of you, it may be like, whoa, this is a lot of information. We're firing you, we're shooting a fire hose at you. Just know that you can connect with the people that have invited you, and you can connect with your upline, you can connect with leaders, you can connect with us, and we can help you. But really keep it simple, right? Start off simple. Like I mentioned earlier, everybody starts at that rep rank. Focus on what it takes to get to the Bravo rep. Then focus on what it takes to get to Kappa. You'll start to learn and understand all these different mechanics as you go. The other thing to think about is that if you're an affiliate influencer, you don't have to think about any of this. Or if you're recruiting an affiliate influencer, they don't have to understand any of this. You don't have to get into those details. All they need to know is that they can keep doing what they're doing, and they make 25% off of the customers that they bring in because that's what they're used to doing and that's what they can focus on. They'll then start to see different opportunities, which will expose them to more ideas and opportunities of building. But keep it simple. Keep it simple. The global bonus. This is our quarterly commission opportunity. It's a big deal, and it's an important goal that everyone should be striving to reach within their Oliabo business. Each calendar quarter, 5% of Oliabo's global commissionable volume is added into a pool that is then divided pro rata among qualified leaders. Qualified leaders include the rank of Premio and above. Not all companies have a global bonus pool. Those that do typically contribute 1 to 3% to the global bonus pool. Premio Pay's huge 5% global bonus pool is a game changer. This is going to be a lot of fun. And those who participate in this, Premio and above, are going to have some fun checks each quarter that we get to talk about and get to share with them. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Gordon, you've had some experience with this.
Oh, it's a, like you folks, again, the global bonus there was a challenge that was given to me many, many years ago by a guy named Ray Aaron. I can talk about Ray way too much. I got to find
I don't know. Ray's great.
He's pretty great. He's pretty quotable. It was one of the many, many, many sentences that he started with Gordon, my boy. And it was the discussion of, we were in a unilevel, I was on the corporate side, and he said, if you can ever figure a way to make a unilevel pay like these old stair-step breakaways. And I kept that in mind, like, how do you do it? How do you get a unilevel to pay these big bonuses like these old, mature stair-step breakaways? And the key is, this is one of the keys. Global bonus. The other one is dynamic compression. I feel like I'm giving the answer charts to unenlightened companies out there, but we're going into granular detail because the industry really does need this transparency, right? The global bonus is this thing that once you hit Premio, you participate pro rata. Pro rata means based on the size of your organization, you're qualified for a bigger share of the pie. Okay, we could say like, there's 5 people in the global bonus. We'll split it 5 ways. Well, that is not fair. And people are like, wait a second, I got 10 times the size of an organization.
We reward
this Claude, and he's in it. And okay, I'm just being the smart aleck.
Yeah.
That's what gets rewarded gets done. And these bonus checks, there was one we used to love to call and announce to people when those big checks would hit on the global bonus. And I remember having the discussion, and the guy's like, I got to pull over the side of the road. I got pulled over the side of the road. I'm delirious. It was a really fun moment. Now that's going to take a while to get to the point where they're that astronomical, but they get fast. Like this will happen fast, folks. So there you go.
Fun.
Global bonus. And again, global, meaning it's a share of all of the company volume. If you're in the United States and you never build outside the United States, you're still participating in global bonus. When you see these calls and you're like, there's somebody from this country. I don't even know anybody from Australia. It's okay.
But you should get excited because you have a chance to make money off of that person in Australia.
High five them at the next convention because they're all participating in global sales. So.
Yeah, I also want to add to that, Gordon. You talked about previously those people being super excited about their checks. That was at 3%.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. That was a 3% global bonus.
Yeah, this is one of the things. Hindsight has a lot of benefits. One is that we can rate data. 3% generated some outrageous checks. 5%, guys, live and learn, right? And by the way, I was very proud of what we did in previous life. But this has generated, this idea of this global bonus at 5% is based on data, being able to rake data. Now, if you know me, I prefer to go more on the dynamics, but you have to rake the data. I force myself. I have like a lot of caffeine, and then I get into the moment and I rake data, and then I throw it to Curtis. And then Curtis goes in his office, and then we slide pizza under his door every 12 hours or whatever, so he doesn't die.
That's all I need.
And then, and this works out, guys. Trust me on this one. In 3 months, there's going to be some high fives.
Yeah, well, and this just goes back to its transparency and its alignment, right? We want to be the corporate side with the field, you with each other, teams that are totally separate, that are all like working and benefiting from each other. The global bonus pool unifies all of that. And throughout the plan, we've got all these different elements that help that transparency, unification, and just getting us all aligned and working together, because really that's what this is. We are Oliabo, all of us. We are a team working together to support and succeed together. it's a lot more fun that way too.
Yep.
One thing I forgot to mention that I think is a beautiful component of the baseline plan, Gord, is one of the reasons I remember you talking to me about having that third level at that 5 and 10% is that a lot of compensation plans in the network marketing space, you've got a few people at the top making a lot of money and very few people
No
making
middle class.
no middle class, and then everybody else at the bottom not making anything. But the way that this is structured with that baseline plan, and I want to go back to it just to kind of show, it makes it so that there's opportunity for the part-time person just doing this as a side hustle. There's massive opportunity for somebody who's really focused and doing this full time and it's their thing.
Yep.
There's just opportunity on all sides.
Absolutely.
And it just feeds it all the way through from the beginning, middle class, up top. It's just great how it's all aligned, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that you put together.
This is, Curtis, I'm glad you brought this up. The economy is changing right in front of our face, folks. The world is changing. We know it. Like, I'm making the prediction. We were in 10 years ago, network marketing companies were losing people to Uber. And of course, it was easier to turn your car on and drive drunks around, turn your light on and drive drunks around for a couple hours to make some running around money, right? I think right in front of our face, we're going to see that is a trend that's going away with robotic cars and stuff. There is a new definition of entrepreneur. About 20 plus years ago, I started saying there's a new category of entrepreneur based on some new rules in direct selling. And things have changed. And I'll tell you, we are about to redefine what it means to be a new entrepreneur in 2025. 2026, we are redefining what it means. This math that we're going through, watch, mark my word, a very simple product delivery program that gets put into people, the comfort and safety of people's homes, and you can create checks. And folks, I mean this, when you get a job, you go to work for a company, but when you join Oleabo, the company goes to work for you. I would like to say that both of these guys and Curtis are working for me because I'm the fat porker at the top of the org chart, right? But it's not. They're actually working for you. Neither one of these dudes are doing anything that's benefiting me at the moment. They're just translating stuff coming into you guys. And that's the way it should be, folks. It's kind of a beautiful thing. So that's the part of this that when you hear it's like an Italian purity meets American purpose. That's the nicest way I can say like we're really good at business in America. That's kind of one of our. I'm Canadian. We're pretty good at business in Canada. So but like the States are really good at it, and that's what you got right here. And that's the support system behind you. By the way, Chris, I have to get to my. I'm actually finalizing the part of the comp plan video that is like, how do you explain pro rata bonus pool? So have fun with that one, folks. Get yourself some caffeine and try to explain that one to your spouse over dinner. So
no, we're going to talk about reward trips. It's much more fun.
Yeah. Enjoy. All right.
Thanks, Gord. Appreciate it, brother. Okay, so let's talk about reward trips. So a few minutes ago with sprints, we talked about how 5% of initial orders in the sprint plans goes to an incentives pool. Those incentive rewards will include a variety of things, including reward trips to various places throughout the world. Each reward trip will have specific qualification requirements to go along with being able to achieve that trip. We've mentioned that our first reward trip will be to Italy. We're working on what those qualifications will be, and we know that a lot of you are wondering and excited about that, and we're excited about it too. We're working on that. We'll get to it. Not yet, but we're working on it. Reward trips are an important and exciting part of the Oleabo experience. Incredible memories and lasting friendships are made on these trips. They offer important chances to connect with and learn from top leaders and from the corporate side that'll be there with you. It's a powerful opportunity to motivate and grow your business and help your team leaders do the same. So be sure to learn about the reward trips, work at qualifying for them, and inspire your team to follow your lead.
Well, these reward trips too, it's not just a time to go have fun. It's a time for you to rub shoulders with other leaders and learn different strategies and things that they're doing and successes that they're seeing. But not only that, it's a chance to rub shoulders with people that you're seeing on these calls, owners and top leadership and Curtis and Gordon and Joe and Kent. It's an opportunity to all come together and experience something all together, but in the same sense, you're learning from one another at the same time.
Thanks, Adam. something well, we can wrap this up and then I'll jump into what I was just thinking of just as we get into questions. So the Oleabo experience. I always like to end this. A lot of our presentations I end with this because it's not just about the comp plan, right? The reason we're here, the foundation, the true foundation is people and product, right? And the overall experience here is that Oleabo is all about a powerful story, unique products, the people that create an empowered community, yourselves, the proven system and model that it's all built upon, this compelling compensation plan that we've just outlined, the experienced team that can execute on it, and the incredible timing for all of us to bring this to the world, both to benefit and bless the lives of people through incredible products and education. And the natural consequence of that is the benefit of the financial opportunity that comes from that. So that's the presentation. Here's those social media slides. If you want to follow us on social media, this is a way for you to do that. You can scan these, or you can just go to any of these, or you can go to our website, oleabo.com, and down at the bottom, you can click the link to get to these. So I am going to step out of this. And you know what, actually, before I step out of it, before I stop sharing, I'm going to go back to the sprint because I want to make sure that we emphasize something that we don't emphasize enough related to the sprint. So the sprint, I want to make sure that we're clear. The high quality premium culinary extra virgin olive oil product always pays out through the sprint. Some of you might not be aware of that, so I want to make sure that we're clear on that. All of the extra virgin olive oil orders will pay out weekly through the sprint plan. So the reason we've done that is because that product is such an easily introducible product to anybody. Everybody's aware of olive oil. They're not aware of quality olive oil necessarily, but they're aware of olive oil. So it's a great way to introduce Oleabo to people. It also makes a great gift. This time of year, we're going to start shipping that, next week, Adam? Is that
yeah, next week for the olive oil.
Yep, so we'll start shipping the olive oil next week. And it makes a great gift. This time of year is great for that. So that will always pay out weekly through the sprint structure. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm going to check the questions to see if any of the questions might be helpful to have.
Questions come in a few times if you want to just show people how to do it. So if you want to stop screen sharing this, but pull up your test account.
Let me just see real quick if there's anything that might be, or is there anything that you've noticed that might be good for a slide?
Let's see.
Okay, I'll talk.
Customer pay 25% is placement tree from line. So Hernan asked the question, customer pay 25% is placement tree front line, I think is what he means. So anyone who is a customer is going to pay their level, upline level 25%. So whoever they are placed under as a level one, it's going to pay that person 25%.
Yep. Yeah. So that is both here in the sprint, right? So level one of your enrollments on a sprint pays out 25%. Now that's doesn't matter where they've been placed. If you've enrolled somebody but placed them on your second or third level, you're still their sponsor, their enrollment, and so their initial order will still pay to you at 25% in the sprint. The baseline, though, does it based upon placement. Placement meaning if you've placed somebody, a customer, in this example, a customer, let me get there. So a customer, if you've placed a customer on your front line, your level one, or if an upline sponsor has placed a customer on your front line, you get the 25% payout. There was another question here that if I place somebody on my second or third level, do I get the 25% payout? No, you don't. The person that you've placed them level 1 to gets the 25% customer payout on reorders. Sprint, you will still get that on the initial order, you will still get the 25% payout no matter where they're placed because you're their sponsor or enroller, right? But for the baseline reorders, monthly payout, it's level 1 customer payout, those frontline to you, whether placed by you or by an upline. Okay, let's see here. Any other questions you've seen here that it might be good to have any of the slides up for?
Reps don't get.
So somebody's got a horizontal compression question, so I'm going to go and look at that. So question came in. So if I have 200, for example, if I have 200 customers on my front line and they're all ordering 100 CV or 100 QV worth of product, I'd have 20,000 in volume. Would horizontal compression make me a 20K? It wouldn't, because what horizontal compression does is it makes one combined team. It doesn't create the 3 qualifying teams. So it would look at it. If it was only 200 customers that you had, it would say, okay, which of those 2 customers are ordering the most? And those would be your team 1 and your team 2. And then it would combine all the other customers into one combined team. And so that's how horizontal compression would work.
So in that example, you would have your team 1 would be 100 QV. You'd have a team 2 that's 100 QV.
Yep.
And then you'd have a team 3 that's 19,800 QV.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you'd be doing great on your level 1 commissions at 25% on those orders. You'd be making a lot on that, and that would be great. But as far as the horizontal compression, it's not going to do much for you there as far as your rank qualification.
Okay, reps don't get a payout on their own personal order, do they? Doesn't the sprint check go to the person that enrolled them? So that is correct. You don't get paid anything on your own personal orders. However, your own personal orders do help you to qualify at different ranks and for different amounts of pay. And so that's going to be part of your QV. The CV commissionable volume from your actual order is going to pay to your upline.
Yep. Yeah. So your QV counts as one of your rank qualifications and goes to your org rank qualification as well. So qualifications for Italy, we're still working on that. It will be announced in the future. So just start working your plan and working to keep ranking up. We will get specific on that soon and in plenty of time for you to work towards that.
What do you mean the olive oil is going to pay during the sprint?
Yeah, so do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so, well, 2 things. Olive oil itself is going to be ready to be shipped next week. So I've had the question come up, does that mean that the sprint is actually going to trigger to be paid next week? And the answer to that is no. The sprints would have already paid with this week on all of the orders. However, the order doesn't actually ship for the olive oil until next week. So that's one thing. But
this week's orders will pay out next week.
Anything that's placed this week,
yeah, any initial orders
pay out next week. Initial orders will be paid in sprints.
Or olive oil orders that are second orders.
Correct. And I think that's the point of the question.
Yeah, you're right.
Olive oil is going to be always what we call a perma sprint, meaning that it's permanently set to the sprint pay structure. So it's never going to be paid within the baseline. You're going to see that it's going to pay 2 levels on every single one of the extra virgin olive oil orders. So that means that an order can be split. If somebody places an order for Prima and it also has an extra virgin olive oil in it, the culinary oil, you're going to see that you're going to have those payments split sometimes because the Prima may be a second order and that's going to pay through the baseline or the unilevel. But even though it's a second order, it's permanently set as a sprint pay on the olive oil. So that portion is going to pay in the sprint.
So hopefully that clarifies it. We can jump on a call or something with more information on that another time, or perhaps we'll put together. Let's write down to put together like a little bit more detail on that so that it can be really clear in either an FAQ or yeah, I think that's a great idea. Another question here. So to place a customer on second or third level, you would have to give up the enrollment. No, you wouldn't give up the enrollment. You would just be giving up the placement. So they would still be you would still be their direct upline sponsor. So let me go to that, right? So so if you place somebody on your second or third level, right? So let's say you put somebody here on your level 3, you place somebody here on your level 3, you've enrolled them, you're still their direct upline sponsor, but now they are frontline level 1 to that level 2 person that you placed them under. And so if it was a customer, for example, and you decided you didn't want to put that customer frontline to you for some reason, then that person that you placed them under would get that 25% level 1 payout. Right? So they would get that 25% level 1 payout if you would place them frontline to a second or a third level person. You would still be the upline sponsor, but they would get the payout structure based on the baseline for any reorders. And hey, as we go here, we appreciate your time. We're going to stay here answering a bunch of questions. We're going to get into some back office examples here in a minute, but we understand if you need to come and go, we just want you to know we're here for you. We're going to keep going through some things. If your questions don't get answered, please write into support@olealba.com or reach out to us so that we can make sure that we do get you taken care of. So I'm going to answer a few of these other questions with the slides here, and then we'll jump into the back office.
So one thing I want to address is somebody put this in the chat, and it's a good question. The person asks, is it possible to combine the annual VIP 365 subscription together with a first order product? This boosts the first order volume for the sprint. So the answer to that is that there's not commissionable volume on the VIP membership. It just has qualifying volume. So the first order that's actually placed after the VIP membership is actually the first initial order that has commissionable volume on it. So even if you combined the VIP membership and your product order, which we intend to give you the capability to do here in the future, even if you did that, it's still going to be the same amount of volume that is paying out.
Thank you. So somebody just is wanting to make sure that they are understanding this properly. So sprint level 2, this 10%, the double down, in order to qualify for that, you have to have 200 QV in personal qualifying volume. Now sprints are paid out weekly, so it's important for you to make sure you're hitting that qualification early in the month so that you are qualifying when the commissions are calculated on a weekly basis, right? So like right now, we're at the beginning of a new month. So you want to make sure that you got your qualification in place by the end of this week so that you're not missing out on that double down, right? For this week, because any initial orders or any orders of the culinary Evo that happen this current week, they're going to get paid out next week for this week's sprint. And so you want to make sure you're qualifying for that double down by making sure you've got your orders in early in the month, if you're focused on this, just to make sure that you're aware of that.
Somebody asks a question. This is about shipping, so not necessarily commissions, but I think it's important for people to know. If you have a Prima and an oil in your order, so your initial order that you placed, once that extra virgin olive oil ships, is it going to be a separate tracking number? The answer is yes. So there will be a whole separate tracking number for that extra virgin olive oil that will be assigned to the order. Because it's a whole separate shipment that's actually going out. So
there it is. Sorry.
Curtis is messing around with the settings here. So yeah, just know that is a separate tracking number.
Okay, so let's get into the back office. Adam, do you have a back office that can show some holding tank examples?
I should, yeah.
You want to share your screen, and
let me pull it up,
and then
so maybe read some other questions real quick.
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, so we've got several questions about the replicated website. We know that this is important. It's important to us. We want to make sure that we're getting it done, and we're working on that. That's a huge priority to get done and out to you in December. So literally, after this, we're actually sitting down and having another meeting about the replicated websites. And we're mapping out a few of the different aspects and elements of those so that we can continue to keep that focus and get that developed and done. So it's in the development process right now, and we're driving forward to get it done. It will get done and get rolled out in December. So thank you for being patient. We know that that's a critical and important part of your business, and it's important for us, and we want to get it done and out there right. So within December, we're going to get that out. So that you guys can run fast and have the tools that you need. So thank you for your patience on that.
All right. Curtis, if you want to pull up account 1091.
Oh, you want me to
Or
share?
if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share your screen.
You just get this. Right here. Okay, so we're going to talk about and show how you can go in and change things within your holding tank. So the question has come in, how do I go in and place individuals? So if I look at my placement team here, graphical, these are going to be the individuals, and these are fake accounts, just so you guys know. These are just test accounts that were put in for us to test different things. But you've got a couple different reports here in your My Network. You've got your sponsor tree graphical. These are going to be all of the individuals who are sponsored frontline to you. If I go to the sponsor tree layered, it's just a different view of how to look at things. If one of these individuals had somebody under them, you would see a little arrow right here at the bottom that you can click on that then opens up all of the individuals that they personally sponsored. So if Curtis Test had sponsored some individuals, there would be an arrow right here where I can see who he sponsored. So if I go over here to the far right of the tabs at the top and click on the holding tank, I'm going to see my individuals who I currently sponsored. So again, here on the sponsored tree, you see I've got Curtis Test and I've got Marsden Donaldson. So those are the individuals that I've brought in. And I have 60 days to go and change the placement structure for anyone that joins Oliaba. So I can go over here to the holding tank. And here I'm going to be able to select who I want to place those individuals under. So in the compensation plan training that Curtis just gave, we talked about there's 4 requirements to qualify. You have to have your own QV, you have to have your personally sponsored, you have to have your teams, and you have to have your total overall qualifying volume. So when looking at that, you can go through these reports and say, okay, do I have my individuals sponsored? Yes or no, check mark. Then when I'm looking at my placement team, if I'm looking at how to place individuals, let's say I have a sign up of a new person who comes in over here. Now I have 3 people front line. If I wanted to try and help Curtis with some of his volume, which in turn helps me with my team lead and that team's volume requirement, I could choose to put, let's say this is Ben over here. I could choose to put Ben down under Curtis as the placement. And what that does is that anything Ben now does, as far as signing up, recruiting people, and they're ordering product, all that volume is not only going to help Ben, but it helps Curtis, which naturally helps me for my qualifications. So in looking at that with the holding tank, these again, over here on the member name, these are the individuals who have just been enrolled and are sponsored to you. Over here, I'm going to have the option of where I want to place those. So in the example I just gave, I can put Marsden Donaldson, you can see, I can put that down under Curtis Fulmer Test. And that allows me to do that. So if we're looking again back over here, if I was on the placement tree graph, if I had submitted that, it will then move Marsden Donaldson under Curtis. So let's go ahead and do that. What is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure that wasn't shown.
No, you're fine.
Okay, so if I go in and I select Curtis, and then it's not showing, but over here there's apply. I click the apply. It's going to say, are you sure you want to apply the holding tank change? Confirm. Now, if I go over here to sponsor tree, you're going to see these individuals here. And then once this updates in the placement tree graph, you're going to see, it takes a little bit, it takes a few minutes, but you're going to see that this Marsden Donaldson is then going to be showing that it's placed down under here under Curtis. And that naturally helps Curtis's volume, naturally helps my qualifications because I need Curtis at a certain amount of volume to hit certain ranks. Okay, so I know several of those were questions.
Keep going. I'm typing something up to remind myself.
You're good. We answered the olive oil, and that is going to have a separate tracking number. Okay, so the question is, if people ordered the VIP membership and a bag of Prima, is that 200? And then they need to replace with another product to stay on 200. Okay, so if you're trying to qualify for the double down bonus on the sprints, one of the requirements is that you have to have 200 QV. So I believe that's where this question is stemming from. So the question is, if somebody placed an order for a single bag of Prima and a VIP membership as their initial order in the month of November, that would count as 200 QV. 100 QV comes from the VIP membership and the other 100 QV comes from the Prima. So that gives them their 200. So the question is now in December, their subscription would only be set as the Prima for this month because the VIP membership is going to run every year, not every month. So if we want to make sure that you're at that 200 QV, you want to go and make sure you add something to your order because you're currently only going to have the Prima at 100. So you could go in and add some of the culinary extra virgin olive oil if you want. You could add an extra bag of Prima for maybe your spouse. But you do want to make sure that you're at that 200 QV so that you're qualifying for those double depth bonuses in the sprints.
Excellent. Okay. How can we edit a subscription?
Yeah, so as far as editing subscriptions, we've got a managed subscription 2.0 that's going to be coming. But right now, you have a couple of options with managing your subscription. You can go into the back office and you can do a few things. You can pause, you can skip, or you can cancel your subscription. If you want to change what is on your subscription,
removing or adding something.
Yep. So what I recommend doing for the time being, that's going to be something that we're going to add as a feature in the back office here in the near future. But what I recommend in the meantime is, let's say that you want your subscription to be set for, what is today, the 4th? Let's say you want your subscription to be set for the 10th of every single month, that you want that to go out. Don't cancel your subscription yet, but set a reminder on your calendar for the 9th, maybe, to go in and cancel your subscription. But then just go in and on the 10th, place an order just like you did the very first time. But you're going to place an order for what you want to be on your subscription moving forward. What this does is it allows you to change every aspect of your subscription. You can change the products that are on there. You can set the date to whatever date that you actually place the order. So you manage that by the day that you place the order. That's going to become your date every single month. But then you can also change the address that you're shipping it to, and you can change the credit card, the payment. So you can manage with that. It's a roundabout way right now, but again, we're working on a version 2.0 that's going to allow you just to be able to go into the actual template and change all of those things.
Yeah, not ideal, but this is kind of the initial start. So if you want to remove, add any of those things, it's just easier right now to just on the date, like Adam said, I'm just reiterating, right? You want to cancel it on whichever date that you actually want to redo the subscription, cancel it, reset up the subscription the way that you want, and it'll initiate that way. We're going to have that updated and improved in the next, I don't know exactly when, but in coming weeks or in the next month or so. And so if you've got any issues or trouble with that, obviously reach out. support@oliaba.com or give us a call and we'll help you take care of that.
Someone's asking about the Pay Quicker. Can you actually pay it towards a credit card instead of a bank account? We don't have that feature right now. What you'd have to do is transfer the funds to your bank account and then use your bank account to then pay the credit card. But the question came up earlier and I thought that I answered it. I answered it in a different way because I thought the question was geared a different way. So I just want to add to that. So if you want to use your Pay Quicker funds as spend back on your products at Oliabo, you can do that. Eventually, it's going to be just a click of a button that you can have spend back. But right now, while we're finalizing everything with Pay Quicker set up, you can still do that. You would actually just transfer the funds to your virtual card and then use your virtual card number to pay for your products. And there's no fee for that.
It's a point of clarification. I think I created a little confusion and misspoke earlier. To qualify for the Sprint Level 2 Double Down, the system actually looks back at the last 5 weeks and it says, hey, have they had that 200 QV qualification in this last month, essentially? And so you don't have to change your order to qualify at the beginning of the month. I didn't mean to create confusion there. So as long as you've, in the last 5 weeks, essentially, had a 200 QV order, whether it's a subscription or a one-time purchase, as long as you got that 200 QV, then you will qualify this week, next week, for that Sprint double down level 2 payout of 10%.
And that's on purpose, right? So that we can capture your subscription from the previous month as your order, so that you're not constantly having to make sure you place orders before your people place their orders.
Yep, that's what keeps it simple again, so that you can qualify, and it just keeps it simple. So apologies for that confusion.
Keith, you asked the question of that is to earn the 10%. I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but if it's about the sprints, 200 QV of your own personal purchases, that qualifies you for the additional 10% on the double down.
Okay.
Hernan asked personal QV to qualify. Yes, you do have to have personal QV in order to qualify for certain aspects of compensation. So for level 1, you don't have to have QV. There's not a requirement as a rep. But if you're trying to qualify anything higher than a rep for your monthly qualifications and your rank, then yes, you do have to have QV. And likewise, on the sprints, you have to have 200 QV in order to get the double down pay.
And I think that question about is the move in real time, I think is related to the holding tank placements.
Yeah, so the moves are real time. So when I was just doing the move, I wasn't doing that in our live environment. The live environment's much faster. Then we have a couple of different environments. As we're trying to go through and test everything, we want to make sure that things are working properly before we push them out to you. Because if all of a sudden we say this is how something is going to work, and then we push it out and it's not working and functioning properly, that's going to create a lot of headaches on your end. And so there's different aspects in the software side where we can go into a dev environment or a stage environment, and it goes through these processes on purpose so that we can make sure that once it actually goes live, that it's functioning properly. But all I'm getting at is in the dev and stage environment, they're not on as fast of a server. So when we make these changes, they don't happen as rapid and as fast as they do in the live environment.
And to clarify, to add to that, so when you have 60 days to move people that are in your holding tank. So everyone that you enroll automatically is just on your front line and in the holding tank for 60 days. You have one move to move them. If you move them, they then are locked into that new position. Within that time period of them sitting in your holding tank, they are sitting on your front line level 1 position, and any payouts that occur, any commissions that happen during that time period will pay out with them as at your first level structure. So be aware that if you're planning to move somebody into a different placement other than your front line, until you do that, the commissions will pay out as if they will be on your level 1. So the commissions will pay out accordingly.
So this is the move that we just did a minute ago. So now I can see that it's done because, like I said, it takes a minute to update in our stage environment. But you can see I'm on the sponsor tree graphical here. So these are the individuals who I sponsored. If I come over here to the holding tank, I'm going to see that now that one I moved is no longer there. Because once you move it, it's going to remove it from your holding tank. You can't go in and move them again. So that's why it asks you to please be sure that you know you're moving them to this position that you want to move them to. But now if I go to the placement team graph, you're going to see that instead of it showing me here and Curtis here and Marsden over here to the side, it now shows that Marsden is gone. But that's because I moved Marsden under Curtis. So this is the arrow I was talking about. If I click on this arrow, it's now going to open up and show that Marsden is now showing under Curtis.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, so as far as setting up your wallet, your Pay Quicker account, there will be an email sending out in the next 24 to 48 hours, I think, is what's happening. Today or tomorrow, it should be. For those who've generated commissions up to this point, you will be receiving an email invitation to set up your Pay Quicker account. And if you think that you should be receiving that email and you don't within the next 48 hours, please reach out to us so that we can look into it and make sure we're taking care of you.
Barbara asks, so if I ordered in November and it's now December, if I add an order to get 200 QV, will that qualify me for the first payout? So this actually brings up a couple of different thoughts in my head on how to answer this. One, to get the first payout, we ran the commissions this week for all of the very first sprint orders. Now, when you say first payout, I'm not sure if you mean by that or if you're saying the first level of pay. Your first level of pay does not require that you have any sort of QV. But the other side, an aspect to this, is we want to make sure people understand that if you placed an order for 100 QV at the end of November, and you place another order of 100 QV at the start of December, those do not combine to become 200 QV to qualify you for the double depth. You have to have an order of 200 QV within a month's period of time or within the 5 weeks that Curtis talked about in order to qualify for that double down bonus.
There is a bug that we're working on. Somebody mentioned, I don't see anyone in my holding tank. I've enrolled some people, but they're not showing. There is a slight bug where there's sometimes some people are not showing in the holding tank that should be. If you're running into that issue, send us an email to support@oleaba.com with where you actually would like those people to be placed. If you know where you want them placed, you can say, hey, I've enrolled you. You'll be able to see them in the other graphical trees. But if you can't see them in your holding tank and they should be in your holding tank, please send us an email. Hey, I'm not seeing these people in my holding tank. And if you know where you'd like to place them, tell us where you'd like to place them, and we'll do that as a temporary workaround while we're fixing that bug. But that's a known issue, and we're working on fixing that. Apologies.
Okay, so sprint commissions, I'm just going to go over pay periods because that'll answer this question. So all of our sprint commissions are generated from orders that are placed from the morning of Monday morning all the way until midnight Sunday every single week based off
Mountain
of
time,
mountain.
US.
Yep,
Yeah.
mountain time. And so what that means is that everything that has been placed since Monday of this week all the way up until now is going to be paid in the sprint next week. As far as how we calculate those, Monday and Tuesday, we work on the calculations of the commissions. Wednesday, we finalize everything with trying to get the payments solidified. Thursday, those payments are pushed over and funds you can be expecting to see in your PayQuicker account every Friday. And so that's how our weekly pays are going to work. Now, for the monthly pays, it goes all the way from the first until the last day of the month. Anything that's placed within that time frame up until midnight on the last day of the month, those are going to pay in the following month's unilevel paycheck. And we're going to be paying those mid-month every single month.
So will the amount in our wallets continuously change throughout the week? No, it'll change once a week, right? So Monday through Sunday, we then start doing the calculations Monday, Tuesday, the following Monday, Tuesday for that previous week for the sprints. We start doing those calculations. And then when we initiate those commission payments, your wallet will update for that previous week's sprint payments. And similarly with baseline monthly payouts or the quarterly commissions, after that month or after that quarter, we'll do the calculations, the rank qualifications, and then your wallets would update when the commissions are actually then generated and pushed out. Let's see here.
Okay, so
Got one.
that one, when a brand partner is placed under another brand partner, it gives a person volume, but the sponsor still receives the monthly payout, correct? So we're talking about two different pay structures here. So in sprints, all sprints are paid through the sponsorship upline. All of the unilevel or otherwise baseline, those are paid upward through the placement structure. So if you place somebody down under another individual, that first order will still pay to the sponsor, but then every order thereafter is going to pay through the placement structure.
Okay. Let's see.
I know we talked about this on the call this week, flex availability.
Yeah, so let's answer something like that. So Flex will be available in the next couple of weeks, right? So we'll be opening up pre-orders for Flex within the next I think, week or two at the most, probably in the next week. I forget what we've talked about on that, but we're close to opening up pre-orders. And then we're actually manufacturing Flex right now. I think we've got all the componentry, the bottles, the boxes, everything is going together right now. And so we'll be shipping that before Christmas, right? So within the next week or so, we'll be opening pre-orders. Within the next probably couple of weeks, we'll be shipping. So we're very close on that. So excited about that, excited to get that into everybody's hands.
Curtis, well, I can just answer this one. The question is, are commissions showing in the back office currently for anything that you've earned from this week's pay? And the answer to that is yes. So if you click on your wallet, within the back office, you've got two different things. You've got the My Wallet that's on the dashboard. That's going to eventually link to your actual PayQuicker account and show your My Wallet balance. But if you click on the My Wallet section that's on the left side, or if you're on mobile, it's within the little hamburger menu, they call it, the three little lines at the top of the screen. That's going to give you a drop down. Then there's a My Wallet section. If you click on that, it's actually going to show you the commissions that we calculated this week.
Okay.
Where does it show in the back office if you qualified for the Grand Club? We're working on the reporting to be able to recognize all of you that are part of the Grand Club and also the 2025 Club. So that's not finalized yet, but we are super excited to announce it. So know that that is coming in the very near future.
And again, with this being our first commission run, please reach out if there's anything that you got questions on, or any concerns or confusion, or if you think something is off, let us know, right? We've been quadruple and more than that checking everything, but there's bound to be somebody's expecting something because of a placement they thought they made or they didn't make or something, right? So if there's any issues, reach out. We're always going to take care of you. We're always going to fix it and figure it out, okay? So support@oliabo.com, reach out or give us a call.
Please let Ben know how much he's appreciated with handling all of the mishaps.
Thanks, Ben.
I appreciate your appreciation.
Hey, Ben talked.
I did. I mean, if Curtis lets me,
Yeah, well, we don't have a mute button here.
that's fair.
That's true.
That's fair. I mean, that's called tape.
So if a subscription is set up for the 20th, will my payment method be charged that same day or before the 20th on the renewal? It will be charged that same day. The only time that will be different is that if you establish a subscription on after the 25th of a month, or 25th day of the month, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, those will be set for the renewal to be the 25th of the following month. That way, it gives people time to be able to see whether or not they've qualified, gives leaders the ability to help people make sure that they've got their orders in for qualifications. So any subscriptions initiated after the 25th will be set to renew on the 25th of the following month. Let's answer a few more and then we're going to wrap it up. We really appreciate everyone's time. And again, if your question hasn't been answered or if you got other needs, please reach out. We're here for you. So qualifications are all based upon QV, right? CV is what the payouts are based upon. CV meaning commissionable volume. So CV is how the commissionable volume is paid, 5%, 2.5%, 10%, 5%. That's how the commissions are paid, 25%, right? Whether it's a sprint or baseline, that's based on commissionable volume. And the qualifications are based upon the QV, qualifying volume, right? So, and something to highlight here, for those who don't know, or a reminder for those that do, when you order on a subscription, you get a QV bump. Not only do you get a better price on your product purchase with a subscription, you also get a bump in QV. For example, Prima, if you buy Prima on a one-time purchase, the QV is 100. If you buy Prima on a subscription, you get a better price. You also get the QV of 110, not just 100. So you get a benefit by being on subscriptions there.
Okay, I just want to give kind of a little reminder. I talked about this on a recent call, but shipping, there is, when we, actually it was the day that we started shipping. I reminded everybody that we were shipping, but also there was some orders that are having some address errors. And so I've been going through those as fast as I can to try and update some of the addresses. There's been some issues with some of the addresses not pulling up in our address verification system. So I've reached out to a few individuals via email, but I'm also making phone calls and I'm trying to get those updated as fast as possible. But I do want to show you guys real quick what you should be looking for in your back office to make sure that your order is shipped. So if you haven't actually received the order, what I want you to do is go into the back office. You're going to click on the My Orders section. And I'm not sure why it doesn't let me share this screenshot. But in the My Orders section, you're going to see...
If it's a screenshot, go to Advanced. So go to Share and then Advanced. Share and then up at the top, Advanced, and then Image. Share, is there like share an image or something like that?
I don't see an image. I see video. Portion of screen, maybe.
Documents, maybe? Click on the Documents one. Oh, bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. But anyways, in the back office, once you go to the My Orders section, you're going to be able to see your orders. You'll be able to see whether the payment went through, whether it was successful or not. You're going to be able to see the date that the order was placed. You're going to be able to see your invoice. You're going to be able to see a little eyeball there that's going to kind of just give you an overview of what your order was. But then in addition to that, between the invoice and that little eyeball that I'm talking about, there's a little green shipping truck. And so if your order has shipped, you're going to see that little truck. And actually, I'm wondering if this will now work. Yep. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. So right here on the right-hand side, this link right here, this is to your invoice. This is that little overview I talked about. So if you click on that, it's going to give you a brief overview of what products you ordered and how your, like what address and stuff that you put in and what products. But then this little truck, if this symbol is not showing, then the order has not yet been shipped. And there are a few people that I'm still trying to track down those orders for. The reason I bring this up is somebody asked the question about their order in Alberta. So if you do not see this truck, maybe reach out to support and just send us your address to verify that we have the correct address on file so that we can make sure and get the order put through as fast as possible.
And thanks for your patience. Those of you that have, the few of you that have unfortunately we've been running into these issues. We apologize. We appreciate your patience and support and helping us work through these things. We will definitely make sure that we get it resolved and worked out. So please definitely reach out if you're still having problems or if you now go in and look and identify that you're having a problem now that you've seen this. Let us know so that we can take care of it.
Absolutely. It'll help us because, like I said, I'm sending messages out, but not everybody sees those right away. And so we do want to make sure that we're getting the shipments out as fast as possible. So if you see that truck is missing, reach out to us, please.
Adam, do you have an example of a back office that has a credit card on it that you could show how they can delete or add a credit card?
I don't think I do. Not one that I would want to share.
Maybe look up mine. Just look up Fulmer, and I think there's one of my test accounts. Try that top one there. Just log into my back office on that test account and look. We got a question on how can credit cards be added or removed in the back office? And so look and just see.
Actually, we should start from the beginning.
Well, see if there's one in there on my test account here. Okay, and is there a subscription on this test account as well? Because there's a couple different ways we do it. No, okay, well, that's okay. Go ahead and share your screen, please. So yes, so the question is, can we remove a credit card or add a credit card in the back office? Yes, so we'll show you what is available right now, and then we'll continue to improve this. But yes, you can remove credit cards and add new credit cards in the back office. So when you log into your back office, you can do it in a couple different ways. So one, if you're shopping, you're going through the checkout process. add something to your cart, go to checkout.
Select whichever, make sure that you're correctly selecting your shipping address.
Yeah, and then when you get to the payment page, if you've already added a payment method, then it will be here in these saved payment methods, or you can add another payment method. So right there, you see there's like that little red trash can. So if you click on that, it'll pop up and say, do you want to delete this? Don't delete it, but that's how you would delete it. However, if you have a subscription and this card is tied to a subscription, a different little window will pop up that says, hey, this is tied to a subscription. You need to first change the payment method on that subscription before you can delete this payment method. If you have a subscription, you can actually go into the subscription management. So show me where subscription management is. This test account doesn't have one, but if you did, it would show up here. You can then click on the subscription management button, and from there, you can then change the payment method on that subscription, or you can add a new payment method. And so that's how you can delete or remove or add new payment methods. Another question, so, and this we want to keep making sure we're providing clarity on. So international locations, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, Mexico, all the places that we're open up internationally right now through that NFR program. When you're going through the checkout process and you see the different line items, there's the product cost. If you've initiated a subscription, it'll show you a discount subscription line item that shows you the discount off of that purchase price for your subscription. You'll also see something related to duties and fees or taxes. I want to make sure we're clear. We don't charge local sales tax, right? We are not collecting sales tax in your region or country. The taxes that are being assessed are import taxes and duties, right? Because we are shipping product from the US, it's being imported into your country. And so there are import taxes and duties and customs fees in order for that product and that package to be shipped into your country. And so there's a third-party system that we use that we're integrated with that has all that information and tracks all that information for all the different countries and regions.
Well, that's all they do. They're experts in international tax and duties. And so their system literally links to our shopping cart. We don't edit anything in the shopping cart as far as those go. It's that company who that's their
priority. Yeah, so your address, their system looks at your address in encrypted format and then verifies what the customs and taxes and duties fees for the import taxes and duties and customs fees are. It sends that back to us, and that's what's then displayed, and that's what's charged. The reason for that is because our initial focus is on being able to do duties, prepaid duties and customs on your orders. Some of your countries are friendly to that, and that makes it so that your order can be sent through directly to your door without you having to deal with any customs hassles. And that's how that happens, right? So some examples, like what were some of the shipping times to some of those locales so far that we've seen?
Yeah, I mean, just to give you an example, we saw, some of the orders to Canada got there in 2 business days, 3 business days.
Direct to the door without you having to deal with any customs hassles, because we've set things up in a way, and Canada is friendly to it, so that we can then collect and do those duties and the customs processing up front, so you don't have to deal with that.
Well, those, just so that we're not setting an expectation that all of Canada is going to get it in 2 to 3 days, those were locations like BC, places that are more on the western side of Canada, because it's a direct shot up from Utah. If you're on the eastern side of Canada, it's going to take a little bit longer to get to you. But we expect all shipments within Canada to flow through the process of customs very smoothly, because they've all been paid ahead of time.
Yep. So just a reminder, it is not local taxes. It's import taxes and duties. Okay. Somebody had a question here. So they said, hey, I'm on a VIP subscription, but I was still charged shipping. So I'm not sure why that would have happened. It shouldn't have happened. So if you've had something like that happen, please send us an email with the information so that we can then go and fix that. Yeah. It may have been, if you made an order early on in those first few days, there was a few glitches where that might have occurred.
So this one, I actually have already worked with him on, so that is part of that glitch.
Okay. Excellent.
The charge, so what he's referring to is there was a charge of like $1, I think it was $1.20.
I see what you mean.
That was just an integration issue that we had with our tax and duties provider.
So that wasn't actually a shipping charge. It was
Correct.
identified wrong as a shipping charge in our billing summary that we show you, but it actually was one of the duties fees. So this has probably affected several of you where you might have seen an international order, right? You might have seen a line item that said shipping. And if it was regular shipping, that's fine because you didn't have a VIP membership. But if you did have a VIP membership and you saw shipping for like $1 or $2 or something like that, that actually was just miscategorized and was actually one of the customs and duties fees. And that's what that was. So hopefully that clarifies that. Okay. I think we've run out of questions. You guys getting tired yet?
We're almost 2 hours. We're still going good.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I mean, we appreciate your time. We're here for you. We work for you. We want to help you be successful so that we can all succeed together. So we really appreciate your time and attention. Again, if you have other questions or need something, please reach out. Let us know. We'll take care of you. And know that we're diligently working in the background always to make things better, to make the back office better, to make the checkout process better, to make sure we're refining everything. So it'll continue to get better and better and better. So please keep giving us your feedback, your input, your ideas. Let us know how we can help so that we can make you successful and help you have the best experience possible. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all your time. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Andiamo.
Andiamo.